Neverwinter in 2026 is not the game you remember. Stats were completely reworked, enchantments don't function the way they used to, mountain companion systems aren't optional anymore, they're mandatory. And if you log back in thinking you can just throw on your old gear and jump into dungeons, you are going to waste weeks. I've watched returning players burn astral diamonds on the wrong upgrades, chase item levels that don't actually make them stronger, and quit again because the systems felt overwhelming. So, in this video, I, Cesros, faithful member of the Knights of Shadowhawk, am going to show you exactly what to do and what not to do if you're starting fresh or coming back to Neverwinter. No fluff, no outdated advice, just a smart way to build your character from day one. You have to understand this first. The game has changed. If you haven't played in a few years, treat this like a completely brand new MMO. Item levels no longer the full story. Stats matter more now than ever. Bolster from mounts and companions directly impact your power, and progression is more structured than it used to be. If you try to play this like 2018 Neverwinter, you're going to feel weak, and it's not because your class is bad, it's because your systems have changed. Picking the right class. Before we talk progression, let's talk roles. Neverwinter revolves around 3 core roles: tank, healer, DPS. If you're brand new and you want easier dungeon queues, play a tank or healer. They're always needed and everybody's always looking for them, so your queues are short. If you want simpler solo progression, play DPS. You'll advance quickly because you're eliminating your enemies that much faster. But here's the real advice. Pick something you actually enjoy looking at for hundreds of hours, because this game rewards long-term progression, and switching later on can be quite expensive. Here's your game plan for the first week. Follow the main quest line. Do not grind random zones. Do not farm gear early. Just progress naturally. The leveling campaign is basically a tutorial for you, and you will acquire new gear consistently through it. Now, once you can, join a guild immediately. Guild boons are free stats. Free stats means easier progression. Now, once you've unlocked the queue for random dungeons, do them. It's a great way to get experience, gear, and rough astral diamonds. Now, with the rough astral diamonds, you refine them and you make astral diamonds. You can only refine 100,000 rough astral diamonds per day. Now, you need to do that and try to get to the max as much as possible, because astral diamonds themselves are the most important currency in the game. Also, another important thing you should be doing is invoking your deity daily, which you can do at any bonfire or altar. It just basically translates to free currency over time. In the course of your next 2 days of gameplay, you want to make sure you hit max level 20. Once you do that, you can start working on adventures and campaigns. Undermountain is key, do it. And now, if the Soul Collector campaign is still allowing anyone to participate regardless of item level, check it out. The game currently scales you up to its item score requirement, and is an extremely quick and easy way to acquire some really good pieces of gear to boost your item score. Now, you also want to begin upgrading your basic gear from seals and dungeons. And of course, you want to know your class, so learn your class build. Fool around, experiment if you'd like, or if you want to save some time, I recommend looking online for a build to follow until you're more comfortable with the class. Days 5 and 6. Consistency is key. You want to run those random dungeons, those skirmish queues, those trials, all for astral diamonds. You want to consistently make sure you are earning your astral diamonds daily. 100,000 is the cap. I know I said this before, but I can't stress enough how important that currency is. You need it for the auction house and so many different endgame purchases from the merchants to acquire your stronger item score gear sets. You also want to begin refining enchantments and companions, both super important aspects to your item score and stat. And also, on top of that, you want to make sure you get an active companion with good stats. That way, it can help you as you progress. Now, day 7, or I should say, the rest of the days you play Neverwinter, you want to prepare and continue on through endgame. You want to focus on your item level. But while doing so, you must keep a close eye on your stats and make sure you're building up the stats that are needed for your roles. Now, also, on top of that, You want to join higher tier queues if eligible. Higher tier means better loot. Make sure you're working on your mount and companion bolster, and then ultimately set daily routine. I'd recommend focus on your invoking deities. Your daily queues offer you a bonus of rough astral diamonds, and then campaign tasks, and ultimately refine those astral diamonds. Companions and mounts are mandatory. This is where most returning players mess up. Your companions and mount systems are not cosmetic anymore. They are core systems. Companion bolster increases your stats significantly. Active companions powers matter. Mount insignia bonuses matter. Combat power and equip power matter. If your bolster is low, your character is weaker. Period. But here's the mistake. Do not rush mythic upgrades immediately. Upgrade steadily and plan long term. Build a foundation first. Also, stop chasing item levels blindly. This might be the most important thing in the video. Item level looks impressive. It is not always power. Stats matter more. If your offensive stats aren't balanced, if your defensive stats are too low, if you don't understand your role's priorities, you can have high item level and still underperform. Smart stat balance beats inflated numbers every time. And when it comes to campaigns, it can be quite overwhelming. There are numerous amounts of them, and they all require a different item level or requirement in order to get to them. So here's how you handle it. Just do one at a time. Don't try to complete all the campaigns in 1 week, 2 weeks, whatever. It's like designed to be long-term grinding. Just focusing on unlocking your boons steadily, and treat campaigns as a long-term progression, not a sprint. Burnout kills most returning players, even more so than difficulty does. Here is a list of a few mistakes that you can avoid while you're playing Neverwinter early on. You don't want to blow your astral diamonds early. Use a lot of new and returning players that waste their astral diamonds on low item level gear from the auction house. They buy mounts and companions without actually checking the bonuses. They also end up purchasing enchantments that they end up replacing days later. It just all ends up being a complete waste of your astral diamonds. Now, a better move to do is save our astral diamonds for things like account-wide mounts and companions. High impact upgrades. You want to make sure, those things could be like mythic companions, the collars for your mounts, and the insignias. Those things. But when you do purchase those things, you want to make sure that you're looking out for the stats that they provide. You want to make sure that those stats are the necessary stats for your role, your tank, DPS, or healer. And event sales. Those right there probably will make your progression a lot easier if you can hold out for them. They make things cheaper, they make things quicker, they are 100% the way to go. Now, a secondary mistake that a lot of players end up making is they ignore mount and companion bolster. Unfortunately, item level alone doesn't carry you anymore. I've already stressed this in a video earlier, but your companion bolster percentage and your mount bolster percentage massively affect your stats, survivability, your damage, your healing output, and most returning players end up upgrading their gear first. That's backwards. You want to kind of hit those and go from there. Third mistake that people make is that they overstack their item level instead of their stats. Like I said, I've said this so many times, you want to focus on your stats. That's probably the most important thing. You want to make sure you get the stats that impact your role. Higher item score does not actually mean a stronger character. If your stats aren't near caps for your content level, a DPS will hit like a noodle. Tanks will get shredded. Healers will struggle to keep up. Now, for healers especially, you want to prioritize outgoing healing, power, crit severity, so your crits from healing end up being more impactful. Now, another mistake that returning players also do is that they skip campaign boons and they just try to rush to endgame content. Well, endgame content queues, they actually take into account the fact that all the other boons acquired from the campaigns before are in play. So you're handicapping yourself without them. Even older campaigns still give meaningful stat boons. Now, another mistake is refining random gear. Do not dump refinement into temporary campaign gear, early artifacts, random enchantments, upgrade pieces you'll keep long term, because those resources needed to refine that stuff is hard to come by. Now, another mistake people do is they'll end up buying lockboxes without a plan. Keys cost Zen. RNG is brutal, very brutal in fact. Unless you're targeting tradable items, selling during hype windows, it's usually not efficient early on. So truthfully, I wouldn't even worry about the lockboxes until you progress further on. Mistake number 7, not joining an active guild. Ooh, that one is huge, because a good guild gives you the stat boons, advice, potential training runs, and even endgame access. Playing solo in Neverwinter, progression is significantly harder and slower. The mistake that players make is they don't learn the mechanics. Returning players, they try to face tank everything. But with modern dungeons and trials, the mechanics are heavy and significant. Positioning matters, stacks matters, timers, immunity phases, and gear will not save you from those bad mechanics, no matter what you do. Mistake number 10, don't ignore the events. Events like the ×2 refinement, ×2 campaign currency, the trade bar discount, Jubilee. They're all progression accelerators. Missing them, you're just wasting your time. For us healers, I got a bonus mistake for you. Don't build like a DPS. If you're healing, stop stacking pure power at the expense of outgoing healing. Don't chase DPS parses. Your job is uptime, mitigation, smart burst windows. A properly built healer can carry undergeared groups. Alright, let's make sure you're doing and creating your own weekly routine. Something simple. So if you want steady, sustainable progression, just do this. Every day, daily, run a random dungeon. Refine your astral diamonds, check active events. Now, throughout the course of the week, you want to push one campaign forward. You want to upgrade one system at a time, review your stats, see what you're lacking, see what you need, and really just focus on an area. You don't need to actually worry about everything all at once. Do little by little. Consistency beats chaos. And this game requires long-term progression. So it is better to do little by little. That way you do not burn yourself out. The biggest question here is Neverwinter really worth playing? Well, Neverwinter isn't perfect. It's grindy, it's system heavy, and it requires understanding. But if you enjoy strategic progression, dungeon coordination, long-term character building, it's still one of the most satisfying MMO progression systems out there. And well, the players who quit usually rushed, and the players who stay built smart. So if you're starting fresh or coming back after years away, remember this. Treat Neverwinter like a new game. Build your foundation correctly, upgrade systems slowly, and stop chasing numbers that don't actually make you stronger. If this helped you, subscribe, because next I'm breaking down the fastest way to earn astral diamonds without wasting your time. And if you're returning, comment what class you're playing. Let's build smart, guys.